7 times in the past, but the U.S. Supreme Court just declined to give him an 8th postponement. And a potentially deadly attack on police thwarted at Phoenix's Comic-Con. Police taking down a suspect armed with guns and knives who they say intended to murder cops. The suspect allegedly snapping pictures of officers at the event, then posting them online with threatening messages. All right, Ainsley, Brian.
All right, thank you, Steve. New backlash this morning surrounding Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson for saying this.
I think poverty to a large extent is also a state of mind. You take somebody who has the right mindset, you can take everything from them and put them on the street. And I guarantee you, in a little while, they'll be right back up there.
Okay, let's bring in Lawrence Jones, host of The Blaze, for his reaction, who's got a tremendous personal story himself. And Ben Carson, Lawrence, is not coming at it from an elitist angle. He was born to a single-parent family where his mom was never home because she was working 2 or 3 jobs. And he ends up being a neurosurgeon, and his brother becomes a very successful lawyer. Is there anything wrong with what he said?
Well, good morning, family. You know, I sympathize with Ben because I know what he was saying. It's actually the same thing that my mom and dad told me. You know, my mom was 16 when she had me. My dad married her, and I got here today at 24 because of the teachings that my parents gave me, and that poverty mindset was one of them. You know, they always told me no handouts, and they always told me, son, there's a difference from being in poverty and having that mindset. For instance, they would make me mow lawns in my community to earn money because they didn't want me to just depend on them or to depend on the government. They would always say, don't take handouts.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, we teach our kids, if you want to be smarter, then read books and go to school. If you want to be wealthy, then hang out with, you know, do internships with wealthy people. Find out what they did to get to the top. So if you're poor, wouldn't you want to look to Dr. Ben Carson, who's a neurosurgeon, to say, how did you do it?
Most definitely, and Dr. Ben Carson has been very involved in his community. Before he became a Republican a candidate, he was respected by many in the community of Detroit. But this goes back to the facts. You know, if money was the answer to everything and not just the mindset, then 70% of people that win the lottery wouldn't go broke, or 78% of the athletes in the NFL wouldn't file for bankruptcy, because it really wasn't the mindset that was changed. It was just the money. So many people on the left believe that if you just throw these programs, that it will solve all the problems within my community or people that are in poverty. You have to really educate these people and really show them the way. And, you know, I'm a living witness. You know, you don't get here at the age of 24 from a mother that had you at 16 and your dad married her and lived in poverty for the majority of your life without hard work and changing that mindset.
And determination. Right. That's what he's saying. He's just saying be determined and you'll get from the bottom to the top.
Eventually, if you don't quit.
And you can do that.
Now, a guy that dropped out of college, quit Harvard, but ended up making something of himself is Mark Zuckerberg. He was able to come back and get his honorary degree. And this was part of his message. I want you to listen, and I want to get your impression.
Yeah.
Every generation expands its definition of equality. Today, we have a level of wealth inequality that hurts everyone. We should have a society that measures progress not just by economic metrics like GDP, but by how many of us have a role we find meaningful. We should explore ideas like universal basic income to make sure that everyone has a cushion to try new ideas.
What about that? Universal income, is that a new idea you think that'll help?
I think that's wealth redistribution is what he's talking about. Taking other people's money and giving it to someone else so we all balance out. I think it's kind of fraudulent to suggest that we are to steal money from other people, give it to other people, and then all of a sudden we're going to be on the same level playing field. I think people, you work for what you get. And I think you're really hurting the next generation by telling them that we all should be equal without putting in the grunt work and the time and effort.
It's easy for what, $30-40 billion guy to say we should redistribute all of the money in our bank account and make it all equal for everyone.
I think it's hurting my generation because they believe that this is the stuff that's being taught on liberal campuses, and you're really taking the real meaning of what America is about. It's about that everybody can work hard, no matter what. I mean, I'm a black guy sitting on Fox News at 24. Where else can you do that in another country coming from a teenage pregnancy? It's about working hard, and if you put the work in, you can succeed. And so my message to the young people, especially the ones in my community, you can do it too.
Yeah, opportunity to be successful, nothing guaranteed. No one gave Mark Zuckerberg anything. He had a great idea and was relentless in pursuing it, and he gives a lot back. I just, in terms of that philosophy, I think it's definitely worthy of debate. Thanks so much.
Lawrence,
appreciate
so proud of you and how far you've come.
Thank you.
I know your parents are proud of you.
Thank you so much, family.
Great story.
I appreciate
But
y'all.
if you get more successful, I will be jealous. So look out. All right.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you so much.